Hey everyone, it's Ashley and I'm back with a Wet n Wild eyeshadow single look, and this one is actually going to be kind of a little bit more dramatic and using some colors that I don't normally put together. So I'm really excited to see how it looks when it's done, and I thought I would share this with you guys as well. So I'm going to get started by putting on some concealer, and I'm using the Come Correct, and this is a Celebrity Concealer Wet n Wild one from Fergie. The concealer and the eyeshadows that I'm using today are actually from my friend Sherry Lynn, so thank you so much, and I definitely love this concealer. But I'm going to go ahead and add some concealer under my eyes and just brighten it up a little bit. One tip that I wanted to give you guys for concealer to remember is not to be afraid to pull it out a little bit further than you normally would. I'm going to go ahead and pull my concealer out to here just because it gives you a little bit more of a bright, awake, fresh look, and I make sure to bring it into the corners here and to dip it down here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So my next step is actually to apply the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. I've been loving this one simply because it has really great oil control. So it is a bit more expensive for a drugstore foundation, but I really do like the performance. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that and blend it really well down into the chin region so I don't have a harsh line or anything. So the next step that I'm going to do is take the Maybelline Color Tattoo 24-hour eyeshadow in the color Nude Park, and I'm going to use this as my eyeshadow base for the eyeshadow look, and it has a really nice neutral color. You can find these sometimes at the Dollar Tree if you're lucky. The next step is actually to fill in my eyebrows. I'm going to use my favorite e.l.f. Little Black Beauty Book and fill in my eyebrows with a tiny little shade brush from Eco Tools. So for this next step, I'm actually going to go ahead and apply a little bit of powder underneath my eyes, and I'm using the Airspun powder so that way I can kind of, avoid the fallout underneath my eyes. I can just brush it off after. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some right underneath. Right, especially in this area too. That's where you're going to get the most fallout. So for this next step, I'm actually going to increase the intensity of the eyeshadow just a little bit because this is a bit more of a dramatic look, and I'm going to use the e.l.f. Makeup Lock and Seal and the little brush that comes in the kit. And what I'm going to do is actually wet the eyeshadow brush so that it kind of increases the pigmentation and intensity of the shadow that I'm going to use here. So I'm just applying this to here. And what I'm going to do is take the silver shadow, which is called Unchained, and I'm going to apply this all over my lid to kind of give it a very bright, pop of color there. So the next color that I'm going to use is actually called Nutty, and it's a really beautiful kind of metallic colored brown, and I'm going to use this to define my crease and also add some definition into the corner here as well. And I will use the e.l.f. smudge brush for this one. And for this, I'm actually going to take it in here, and actually for the first quarter section here. So I'm going to try to blend it to about here. I'm actually going to take my Eco Tools blending brush and blend that in a little bit so it's a nice kind of soft line. For the next step, I'm going to actually take the color Panther, which is the lovely, very pigmented black color here, and I'm just going to use this as kind of a definer at the end of the eye. So right in this section here, where it creates that little V shape, I'm actually going to go ahead and take the black and kind of define it inside there and then smudge it out just a little bit. And the last step is actually to take the color Creme Brulee, which is a very pretty kind of sand color, and to use this as your highlight color right underneath your brow bone, and you can also add a lighter color on the inside of the corners of your eyes as well. For the next step, I'm going to use my e.l.f. liquid eyeliner, or with a smudgy look like this, you could do a pencil eyeliner and just kind of smudge it out a little bit. I just like a wing, so I'm going to do the liquid eyeliner here. Then I'm going to apply a coat of mascara. I'm going to actually use the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara, and I actually really love this one if you want to have really long, kind of extended length lashes. It works really well because it has such a tiny brush that it captures all the hairs and just really separates and, extends them out. For the next step, I'm just going to add a little bit of blush, and I'm going to use the e.l.f. Blush palette. This is a $6 blush palette, but it is awesome and I definitely recommend it. Everything is very pigmented and there's a good color selection. This is in the shades Light here. I'm going to take my e.l.f. bronzing brush and use this so that I get a nice, angle going to it. And I'm going to use the lightest color in the palette, which is this one right here. For my last step, I'm actually going to use the e.l.f. Conditioning Balm, and this is in the color Nice and Natural. So it's a very, very pretty kind of, neutral color. And I feel like if you're going to wear, really, bold kind of eye, it definitely helps if you stick with kind of a neutral color, and that way the attention on your face only goes in one direction, basically. This is my finished look, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial for how to, make the Wet n Wild eyeshadows look a little bit different just depending how you play with them. And if you guys have any more, kind of tutorial requests for makeup, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear it. And I hope you guys have a great day. See you later. Bye.